y'all, it's Kim. So this will be the third part of the Les Wexner deposition. Um, it's hard sitting through these because it's so long. And anyway, I know it's been over a week since I've done one, but anyway, I just figured it's easier to break them up, and that way I can stop it. And anyway, it's just like an hour at a time. But anyway, I'll get a timer set and then we'll listen to Les Wexner basically deny that he knew anything that Jeffrey Epstein was up to. But anyway, let's go ahead and play it. Make sure my volume's up. Okay.
Especially for women on this committee, so I appreciate it. But I'd like to introduce exhibit, I believe it's F.
I don't know if it's something
Exhibit, I believe it's F. The article is titled Jeffrey Epstein made regular payments to Ohio State head of gynecology. Records show, which is from a local affiliate. It's dated February 10th, 2026. And I'll be able to get it to you. It's about that related. I know they're passing it out, but Mr. Wexner, in the article, explains that recent Department of Justice files indicate that in early 2000, Epstein was making quarterly payments to Dr. Michael Landon, who is the OBGYN and the chair of the OBGYN department at Ohio State University. And you said that your wife received services from Dr. Landon, so you know.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Landon said the payments were consulting services he provided for New York Strategy Group, which was some kind of firm associated with Epstein. Do you know why? Why was he getting paid the quarterly payment by Epstein?
Not a clue.
Do you know if there was gynecology services being offered to Epstein for victims, women?
No idea.
Because you're very associated with the Ohio State University, right?
Yes.
You were the board chair. Okay. Were you aware that Jeffrey Epstein was paying him quarterly payments?
No.
You weren't?
No.
Okay, so the article suggests that Epstein would bill you and your wife for at least one of these payments in 2005. Quote, as we have in prior years. That's evidence within the Department of Justice, Mr. Wexner. Were you aware of these $25,000 quarterly payments coming from your accounts in 2005 and earlier?
Not till this moment.
You know, Mr. Wexner, I'm watching this all unfold, and I just want you to know it's incredibly hard for people to understand you don't know this. Maybe you don't know the specific details. Maybe you don't know the dollar amounts. But Epstein was able to be empowered and enabled to hurt more people with your money. You understand that?
Oh, yeah, he's a crook.
I know. But you don't know the purpose of the payment, and the money's coming from you. It's your money. And you don't know why he's paying a doctor at Ohio State University.
Sadly, I don't.
Did you introduce him to Dr. Landon?
No.
How did he meet Dr. Landon?
I didn't know that he met him.
Because he's Abigail, your wife received services from Dr. Michael Landon.
Yes, and so did my daughter.
Okay. So was it a routine practice for the New York State Strategy Group's expenses to be paid by your accounts?
I never heard of it.
It's weird because it's your money going in to pay for this consulting services of another company.
It's weird to me too.
So Dr. Landon never talked to you about these
Never.
quarterly payments?
Never.
Something else that comes up, because one of the claims that you're saying is you're not close friends and everything, but you know, some of us have access to the redacted email. Some of us already, I think majority of us have gone down there. There is constant claims from survivors. Again, they're redacted from some of the communication directly with Maxwell or directly with other women that were helping Epstein. And your name comes out synonymously sometimes with Epstein. Did you know that?
Well, I know it now.
Well, they also said that you were lovers.
What?
I know. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I just want you to know.
It's
No, it's nothing to be ashamed of. But it would explain, I think, the closeness that everyone consistently says. No one ever says you're not close. Is that like everyone says that you had a close relationship, that you and Epstein were close friends? Did you know that?
objection, hearsay.
Okay. I think, Mr. Wexner, could you provide us with the name of every registered legal entity? And this is important because if you don't know now, then give us the information. Help us find the people that hurt the girls with your money. I'm asking and encouraging you to, please. You started your business with your Aunt Ida's money. You don't want your legacy to be not just Epstein, but Dr. What is the guy's other name? Dr. Richard Strauss? It's Richard Strauss, who also well, it doesn't matter. You were chair of the Ohio State University. You were the board chair at the time that he hurt other women, athletes on campus. This is to say to you, it's not only one person that hurt women, but now two that are affiliated with you directly. And I just want to urge you that if you don't know the answers to this, follow up with our committee, give us the information so we can find out who hurt the women and who benefited from it. So could you provide us with the name of every registered legal entity of which you were the beneficial owner between the start of your relationship with Mr. Epstein and his death? Can you provide that to the committee, sir?
I would provide you with everything and anything I could to nail it. So bitch.
Where they were registered and the date of registration and the names of whoever acted as the agent of those entities.
Can I request that you just put that request in writing and direct it to me, and we will take it and respond.
And it's
to it.
important because Mr. Wexner, so you know, the women, the survivors told us to follow the money consistently. The other question, and this will be my last, you claim that you have been a victim and defrauded by Epstein, correct?
Correct.
Then why didn't you file charges, go after him? He used money to hurt girls and probably young men. Why didn't you do anything to recruit your name, which has been synonymous with Epstein? Do you know your name comes up in the emails among victims who never met you, but your name was used consistently?
I'm not sure I understand what the question did.
The question is, why didn't you file any charges against Epstein if he conned you of $200 million that we know of? Why didn't you go after him?
Well, at the time I didn't know.
When
And
you found out, why didn't you go after him? Is it because he was a good friend?
no,
She trusted him.
You
my
had
dad is probably laughing. You know,
No,
one of the
I
things,
know.
one of the, no, one of the things my dad told me that you don't get a pissing contest with an elephant. And running a public company for a long time, I'm not good at public relations or financial public relations. And so I would answer questions to analysts. I'd call people up and I'd tell them the truth. And what I learned in the course of my business career is whether it was my chief of staff, the company lawyer, personal lawyers, what should I do? And the advice is let us handle it. You don't want to get ahead of this. So I'm happy that today is happening
Good.
because I want to help and I would do everything I can to nail that son of a bitch. And
Because they might be
Please let him. Please let him
Dang,
finish.
lady.
and I can't tell you how much I value my own ethics, my own moral compass, that it has a true north. And what I think happened, now knowing about all the cons, is that Jeffrey would tell somebody that they were me or this was somebody else. Like, you and I've never met, right? I don't recognize you, but you're a congresswoman. I think, because
Yeah, I never met you, but you're all over the emails.
yeah, but so
What a
I
terrible
presume you're a
person.
congresswoman, and I presume you're not a man in women's clothing. I don't know what I didn't know, and this is
You know now, you can do something about it.
oh yeah,
So Wexner claims.
He's
that you
dead.
Claim that you cut ties with Epstein in 07, right? Okay. But you emailed Epstein, quote, Abigail told me the response. All I can say is I feel sorry. You violated your own #1 rule. Always be careful, end quote. That was an email in 2008, Mr. Wexner. I know, I'm letting you know that the public knows.
probably I was giving him the finger.
So that's it.
So, real briefly, did the FBI or Department of Justice ever directly speak to you about Epstein or Maxwell? Has the FBI or DOJ ever directly contacted you or spoken to you about about
Not to my knowledge.
Never.
Never.
And then finally, would you consider Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein friends or friendly? Would you classify them that way in the information?
Didn't they
you
already
have?
ask that question? Jeez.
I think it's really two questions. Would I think they were friends? No. Jeffrey Epstein held him out as a friend.
Great, thank you.
We can go off the record.
We'll go back on the record.
What's that?
That is a microphone. Mr. Wexner, it is 1:17 in the afternoon. Our minority colleagues touched on a lot of different subject areas, and I just want to go back through and parse out some things. First, though, I want to enter as Exhibit 5 the letter from Les.
One more.
This document is titled Letter from Les, General News directed to the Wexner Foundation community. I will stipulate to you there's no date on here. The date it was posted on the website was August 8th, 2019. Do you guys have any reason to dispute that? In this letter that you wrote in August of 2019, you mentioned that you had that Mr. Epstein had various well-known, respected individuals as financial clients and in his inner circle. My question to you is, could you elaborate a little bit to who some of those financial clients were that you were aware of?
Look, it says Epstein represented that he had that. He wouldn't know if he did or not.
Were you aware of any of Mr. Epstein's other clients?
I think.
Well, specifically, I talked to Ellie de Rothschild, and so I mentioned that earlier. So he represented their whole families and a whole bunch of people. Most of them I never would have met, but I knew Ellie. I never met people, but there were people that called me that either insinuated or said they knew Jeffrey through a financial relationship. And so, I mean, they could have been actors, but at the time, a guy calls me up. I'll give you an example. It's just because I wouldn't understand this. It's so confusing to me. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google. I'm providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos. I'm providing financial advice for the chief technologist at Google. Wow, I'm in good company because these are really smart guys with a lot of money. And you have to put yourself in the mindset of if my attorney said, he was qualified to argue in front of the Supreme Court, I'd believe him. I didn't say to call the Supreme Court and say, tell me, is he really an attorney or did he do this? And I get a phone call from someone like a guy named Marble. Who said he was the chief technology of Google. Jeffrey has been helping me. He's financial advisor. I told Jeffrey I was building a boat. He told me to call you. I had never built a boat, but because I hadn't. But if I wanted to build a boat, I would go to Fedship because reputationally they're the best boat builders. Then, it was, and that's the part that is so embarrassing is what a commie was. And if I don't know, you believe your priest or your minister, your rabbi is what they are, you believe them. And people it was mostly phone calls and people would say, or if you bump into somebody, Jeffrey's my advisor, or Jeffrey's talked to me about stuff, or Jeffrey's helped me with financial things. I can't remember specifically, but as I look back at it, it was part of the con. So I never met Meyerwald.
Ken, 1 second, because I think it will move this thing along a little faster.
Okay.
Just answer the question.
Stop telling stories.
Mr. Wexner, you mentioned some of these phone calls from other individuals, boasting about their ties with Mr. Epstein. Do you have a recollection of when most of these would have occurred, these phone calls?
Pretty regularly, but specifically, I can't remember any of them.
Understood. In Majority Exhibit 3, your statement from this morning, your written statement from this morning, you mentioned on the second page, I believe it is, second paragraph, approximately middle of the paragraph, that you consulted Ace Greenberg and Jimmy Kane of Bear Stearns, Epstein's former employer. Did I read that correctly?
Correct.
What did you reach out to Mr. Greenberg and Mr. Kane about at Bear Stearns with regard to Mr. Epstein?
Checking references.
And as far as checking those references, did anything come up surprising to you about Mr. Epstein's background?
All positive.
And you also mentioned, let me take a step back. Bear Stearns has mentioned and previously reported that Mr. Epstein didn't have a degree or some of the proper qualifications for his job there. Did you have any reason to doubt the qualifications of Mr. Epstein when it related to being your financial advisor?
I don't recall that I ever questioned that. That is, he had a degree. I don't remember asking the question.
And so going off of that, other than making some phone calls to some individuals, did you ever formally check into Mr. Epstein's past?
Not beyond talking to the people I mentioned.
Understood. You also state, sorry to jump back and forth, the letter from last Exhibit 5. That same paragraph, the third one in the middle there, the last sentence after the comma says, "I believed I could trust him." What about him, meaning Mr. Epstein, did he do that you thought you could trust him?
Well, I put him in a position of trust. He was a fiduciary. It was to act in my interest, and I trusted that he could do that.
And your trust in him came before he actually handled any of your finances. Is that correct?
Correct. Initially, he was like a friend of a friend who I perceived of as being skilled to review Harold's work.
Understood. Moving along a little bit, you may have touched on this with our minority colleagues. What was the rough portfolio that Mr. Epstein was handling for you?
Probably all my personal finance, houses, equipment, cars, just inventorying of stuff. The stuff, I don't know, all the financial things that someone would handle outside of their business. I had to have someone do because it was so much stuff.
And the financial advisor previous to Mr. Epstein, did that individual have power of attorney?
I don't specifically remember it, but I think he did.
And Mr. Epstein did have power of attorney over your financial matters?
Yeah, as did Dennis.
And why did this become your practice to give them power of attorney?
But we're so busy traveling so much. papers had to be signed, tax returns filed. People had to act on my behalf. So many things to sign. So I needed to have somebody to do that.
Understood.
Typical accounting stuff.
How involved were you with Mr. Epstein's determinations over your finances? Did you have any involvement?
What determinations?
More of like did you have any oversight of what Mr. Epstein was doing as your financial advisor?
Well, I'm sure he did at the time, yeah.
And did he bring every decision to you, some decisions to you? What did that look like?
I don't know. I was running a 20 division business in community responsibility. So if you ask me what the president of the university brought to me or what the head of the foundation, I can't remember, but I was involved in everything except just a lot of stuff.
So is it a fair characterization of your testimony that Mr. Epstein had pretty wide latitude over your financial affairs?
Yes, that's fair, pretty wide.
And Mr. Epstein had access to your personal bank accounts. Is that correct?
I don't recall.
Do you recall if he had access to any of your business bank accounts?
I'm sure he wouldn't.
Did Mr. Epstein ever ask you to lend him money for any reason?
No.
Did Mr. Epstein ever make any attempt to blackmail you for any reason?
No.
Did Mr. Epstein's control over your personal finances extend to any decisions that affected the rest of your family members?
It's just like, I wouldn't say no, but I know that he was involved with the Children's Trust because I learned that today. Or what he did that I didn't know that would have been personal. I don't know what I don't know. But to my knowledge, he would have, in a civilian way, been involved.
And just to clarify to your testimony earlier about setting up trust for your children, was Mr. Epstein who helped set up the trust for your children?
I don't recall.
Did Mr. Epstein handle any other financial decisions in regard to your children?
Not that I'm aware of.
What, and I'm sorry, gonna switch gears a little bit here about your foundation. Why ultimately did Mr. Epstein become a trustee of your foundation?
Just convenience for signing documents, financial oversight, not for the not anything that would be the operation of the foundation, its purpose or review of people. It was just part of the complexity of my personal life.
And forgive my ignorance, you have usually board members of foundations and separately trustee members. Is that an accurate statement?
I wish I have kind of ignorant too. I think we just had trustees.
Okay. And just to clarify, Mr. Epstein, did he receive any compensation for his role on the board of the Wexner Foundation?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you recall who Mr. Epstein replaced on the board or how that board seat became available to him?
No.
Did your mother used to be a member of the foundation board?
I think so.
And was, due to circumstances, was she forced to step down from the board?
No.
she left her board position willingly?
Yes.
Was can you describe in a little bit more detail the circumstances for why your mother left the board of the Wexner Foundation?
I don't recall. Probably age.
Mr. Wexner, what sort of materials did you use to prepare for today's deposition?
I'm going to object to anything that counsel showed him. That's my work product. Anything he reviewed on his own, he's welcome to testify about.
A few documents and smart advice, like just answer questions. Yes or no.
Don't discuss what your client, what your attorney told you.
Yeah, I mean,
The question was,
okay. Well, say it again. I wouldn't be.
Excuse me. What documents or other materials did you use in preparation for today's deposition?
other than anything that your lawyer showed you?
Oh, nothing.
Are you aware of any litigation from your mother and the Wexner Foundation about her stepping down from the board?
No.
Was there ever any pressure from Mr. Epstein to keep his position on the foundation's board?
No.
When you were in I'll call it the prime of your career as a CEO over your companies and corporation, would you say that you were heavily involved in the operations of the company and its related entities?
Heavily isn't a big enough word.
Could it be described that you like to micromanage what was going on through your companies and your corporation?
No.
Obviously.
That was no, I would describe my involvement. I don't think people that I worked with ever described me as a micromanager. But I was involved in so many things in the business. I love the business.
And did you ever face any criticism from your corporation or its related entities about allowing Mr. Epstein to handle finances in any way?
We never handled business finances, and no one in the business was critical of Jeffrey handling, his responsibilities to me personally.
No one ever brought any concerns to you at all?
Not that I recall.
I want to circle back again to some testimony you provided earlier. You testified that Mr. Epstein stole large amounts of money from you. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. That's in the statement.
And I can't recall. Did you know some partial amount of how much he stole?
Well, I didn't know he was stealing until after we discovered that he was a crook. And my wife's attorneys told me about
Not that they told you what you understood.
what I understood. I only understood what they told me. So I didn't discover it or count it or whatever one would do. That's the essence of your question.
Does $46 million sound like an approximation of the amount that you were alerted to after the fact?
I don't remember specifically. initially, Abigail just told me this is
No,
really
not what Abigail told you,
Okay.
what you understand.
what I understood. There was a large amount of money, and I didn't know the specific amount when it was first raised. And subsequently, I found out that it was at least $100 million.
Oh my gosh.
Does that represent the grand total of the amount that Mr. Epstein stole from you?
I don't know. I don't think I'll ever know.
Do you, understanding that you found out he stole largely after the fact, were you able to piece together how he was able to accomplish this theft of you?
No,
You never figured out if he was, say, embezzling funds of some sort, or how he would be allegedly embezzling funds of some sort?
no.
And you testified earlier that you did not end up pressing any charges against Mr. Epstein for the theft of your funds. Could you briefly explain to me why, again, you decided not to?
Advice of advisors. Advice of advisors.
And to be clear, you never suspected any wrongdoing until you ultimately knew. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did are you aware of any advisors fearing any type of retribution from Mr. Epstein if you pursued litigation over the theft of your funds?
Say that again.
Did your advisors have come to you with any fear of retribution from Mr. Epstein if you threatened litigation over the theft of your funds?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Are you aware of Ewan Maxwell having any role in the theft of your funds?
No.
I want to move now to the New York City townhome, 9 East 71st Street. I believe you first purchased that home before Mr. Epstein lived in it. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you remember the time period in which you would have bought it? Best guess?
I don't know, 5 or 10 years before. It was a school. And then the remodeling took 3 years. And so I don't remember when it was. But I'm guessing it was, I don't know. And in the 80s sometime.
Excuse me. And you said 5 to 10 years before. 5 to 10 years before what exactly?
Before I met Jeffrey.
Okay. Did you ever live in this house yourself?
I just got visited it, but I never lived in New York, really. I hate New York.
When are you first aware of Mr. Epstein moving into that mansion?
When he moved in sometime after I sold it to him, but I don't know when that was.
Would you be able to best guess when you sold the house to Mr. Epstein?
It would have been after 1993.
Okay. Are you aware that the deed to the property did not officially change hands to Mr. Epstein until the mid-2000s?
No.
Do you recall how Mr. Epstein purchased this house from you?
Okay, go to check.
Nervous
And
laughter.
the sale of this townhome was at the time that Mr. Epstein was managing your personal finances. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is it possible that Mr. Epstein sold the house to himself without your knowledge?
No, I would know, or I know, if, of course, they bought it.
Did he approach you to buy that home?
Yes.
Do you recall approximately how much money you sold that townhome to Mr. Epstein for?
I think about $20 million.
Do you recall what the market value on that home was at the time?
I believe it was $20 million.
So you believe you got a fair deal for selling that home?
I believe so, yes.
It's been recently reported that your company, or I guess technically one of your subsidiaries, the 2 Inc., was transferred to Jeffrey Epstein's financial trust company in or around 2001. Do you have any knowledge of that happening?
I don't know what 2 Inc. is, and I have no knowledge what it did.
2 Inc. wasn't one of your clothing brand subsidiaries?
It was called Limited 2. That was a business that was part of the company. That's the only thing it means to me.
Did you have any of your subsidiaries of your company transferred to Mr. Epstein's personal business side control?
I don't think so.
We previously, we'll switch gears on you again. We previously mentioned accusations from Maria Farmer, and there were a subsequent set of allegations from another individual. Are you aware of who Virginia Giuffre is?
Familiar name, but I've heard it, but I don't connect it to anything.
Did you ever have any sexual contact of any kind with Miss Giuffre?
No. I've had contact since I don't even know.
Miss Giuffre has accused you of performing sexual acts with her multiple times. You dispute these allegations?
She must be confused. No, it never happened.
Did Mr. Epstein ever bring up Miss Giuffre to you?
No, not a familiar name.
Ever mention Miss Giuffre giving you a massage?
No.
Miss Maxwell ever bring up Miss Giuffre to you?
No.
What about her former maiden name, Virginia Roberts? Does that ring a bell to you?
Never.
I want to return to some things we discussed earlier in the day about travels with Mr. Epstein. I believe it was your testimony that Mr. Epstein was only on your corporate jet when you were present. Is that accurate?
Yes, to my knowledge.
And to your knowledge, I believe it was your testimony earlier that there would be surprise parties in which the jet was traveling to a location for one of those parties, but you could not recall Mr. Epstein being at the party. Is that correct?
Correct.
If Mr. Epstein was not attending the party, what were the purposes of his travel with you on your corporate jet?
I don't know.
Do you have a rough estimation of how many times you would have traveled with Mr. Epstein on your corporate jet?
I don't specifically recall any, but it would have been once, twice, and very few times. The aircraft was used primarily for business purpose, and when we used it personally, we paid for the airplane. So the notion of, you know, I think using the plane or being on the plane for kind of social reasons or, you know, just bumming a ride kind of thing just never happened with anybody.
And
Right.
I take that to mean you also never flew Mr. Epstein to locations where any of his various homes were located.
Absolutely not. No, there's absolutely not. I never did that.
And just to clarify, I believe this might have been asked earlier. Did Mr. Epstein ever bring guests on these flights?
Not that I recall.
Your corporate plane at that time was a Boeing 727. Is that accurate?
We had two aircraft, 727, and we replaced it with a 737. And I don't remember. They looked alike except for their motors, so I can't remember. I know which came first and which came second, but I can't tell you in time.
And just to back up for a brief second, did you keep detailed flight logs for the personal travels on your corporate jet?
I believe we kept flight logs on our business aircraft and our personal airplanes, always.
And the corporate jet, did you sell one of these airplanes to Mr. Epstein?
But you mean the company?
The company, yes.
Yeah, the company sold an airplane to Mr. Epstein.
Do you recall when that sale was made?
No.
Can you guesstimate when that sale was made?
When they delivered the 737, I don't know when it was.
Do you, understanding your posture with the corporation has changed over the years, have you maintained any of those flight logs? Do you have them still as records today?
Never had them and don't have them.
Do you know why you do not have those flight logs?
I would assume CEOs don't keep flight logs of their company airplanes. That's a kind of shocking question.
You wouldn't have the corresponding flight logs of when you personally used the jet on your own your personal finances?
I think there are probably two reasons that I know we kept flight logs. And I think it's a government requirement that you have to have flight logs on an airplane. But two, so many people in the business, different CEOs would be using the planes, and every plane request would come to me because I wanted them to travel, and I wanted to make sure that they were then traveling with the people that they were traveling with. So I know I approved, or my admin approved on my behalf when I wasn't around, who was on the airplanes and the trip. Because like a CEO would request a trip, say they were going to go to Denver to visit stores, and there were 8 people that were going on the store visit, then I'd approve it because that would be a good use. And then so say the CEO went with by themselves, and it's like, no, it's not the purpose. So it was a very expensive and valuable asset to the business, and I wanted to know that it was being used appropriately. But I never reviewed the flight logs. You know, it's just that level of minutia was beyond me.
Understanding you might not have reviewed flight logs or, you know, even necessarily had a reason for acquiring them. Is that a record that would still be kept in the custody of either yourself for personal travel or for the business if those records were ever needed for some sort of purpose?
I don't know what the business kept, but if they're there, I'm sure they're welcome to look at them.
And so would you be able to obtain those records, assuming they do exist?
From the company?
Yes. Or personally?
I don't think he has access to them at the company. You guys have Epstein authority.
Do you recall how much you sold the plane to Mr. Epstein for?
The company?
The company sold, sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, I did. So approximately $6 million.
And what would have been do you recall what would have been the market value for that aircraft at that time?
$6 million.
Do you believe you got a fair deal for that aircraft?
The company got a
The company got a fair deal for that aircraft.
Yeah, I thought it was a very fair deal.
Similar question to Mr. Epstein's acquisition of the New York townhome. How did Mr. Epstein purchase this plane from you? From the company. I'll get there, I promise.
Okay. I presume we wrote a check.
And you weren't privy to any of the fine details of that deal. So as far as which entity Mr. Epstein would have used to buy that plane from the company?
No. The value of the plane was appraised by an airplane broker. That plane was for sale for a year, and the value was $6 million. That's all I know.
Understood. And excuse me if this is repetition, but did Miss Maxwell ever travel with you on the plane? On the company's plane?
Not that I recall.
Did you ever fly on an aircraft owned or operated by Jeffrey Epstein?
Absolutely not.
Did Mr. Epstein ever invite you to fly on any of his aircrafts that he owned or operated?
I think he might have, but I can't specifically remember the circumstance. Some of this is really difficult to remember because Jeffrey was such a con. And as I look back at it, that's it. He was much better at being a crook than I am as an honest person. And I think for the committee to understand this, the con part, I can't imagine a bigger crook or con that the world has ever seen.
Do you recall what rationale you would have had for declining taking flights with Mr. Epstein on planes owned or operated by him?
I was busy, very busy. In busy years, I was in the air, flying on business purpose in the air, 300 to 400 hours a year. If you can imagine somebody traveling in the air 58-hour days and running a company, I ran it from the air as much as I did on the ground. So the last thing I wanted to do was take a trip with anybody. These are the same people, and recognize all of them. Okay, just focus on them. Okay.
One of the subsidiaries of your corporation was Victoria's Secret. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what is Victoria's Secret known for primarily?
It's the biggest, best lingerie brand in the world.
And
kind of like Nike is to running shoes.
Understood. And what type of events would occur to market or advertise that company while you were in control of it?
It was print advertising, it was TV ads. A lot of the marketing was point of purchase, the design of the stores, and of course the fashion show was kind of a magical thing for the brand.
And I believe you touched on this a bit earlier. Were you aware of Mr. Epstein holding himself out to be affiliated with Victoria's Secret?
Only once.
When were you made aware of that?
I don't remember when.
Do you recall who brought that to your attention?
Somebody in the company, probably. I don't remember specifically who.
Do you recall how he was holding himself out to be part of Victoria's Secret?
He was a talent scout looking for models.
Did you ever have the sense that Mr. Epstein had a certain odd interest in Victoria's Secret?
No.
Would he discuss the models at Victoria's Secret with you?
No.
Would he ask you to attend Victoria's Secret fashion shows?
Would he ask me?
Correct.
No.
Did you ever personally invite him to any Victoria's Secret fashion shows?
No. I never invited him to any business event from the fashion show.
Sorry, let me rephrase. Are you aware of how Mr. Epstein would have been able to attend Victoria's Secret events if not invited by you?
What the hell?
I would presume he would called somebody in the business and said, could I come? Could I get a ticket? I know that we were, for business reasons, very careful about the audience that was there, and about, I guess, 2/3 of the audience were employees, store managers, people that done heroic things inside the brand, because it was a big company event, and all the CEOs of all the companies in the company were invited, and so the people that were outside the company wasn't what I was concerned about. I was more concerned about internally
Good grief.
that people came, or that should come, or were at least invited, because if not, it would have been like the right thing to do. So my answer is I really don't know.
Are you aware of Jeffrey Epstein having any other contacts within Victoria's Secret specifically? Executives or anyone of that such?
I'm sure you knew people or would reach out to people in the business, but I don't know.
Did you ever make executives at Victoria's Secret aware that you would prevent Mr. Epstein from coming to any fashion shows or around any models?
Not that I recall.
Are you aware of Mr. Epstein bringing any women to Victoria's Secret to potentially model for Victoria's Secret?
No.
Do you know who Jean-Luc Brunel is?
Never heard.
Did you ever take a recommendation from Mr. Epstein or Miss Maxwell about hiring young women or girls for any of your companies or subsidiaries thereof?
No.
Did Mr. Epstein ever suggest to you that he could find models on your behalf for Victoria's Secret?
No.
Did you ever consider cutting ties with Mr. Epstein, professionally or personally, after he was caught lying that he was a scout for Victoria's Secret?
He just answered me. If I thought he was, I would have fired him.
I am now going to enter as Majority Exhibit 6, a letter from a birthday book compiled for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday in January of 2003. I will give you a second to familiarize yourself with the letter.
6 seconds.
6. Mr. Wexner, is this letter familiar to you?
I have seen it before, yes.
Where have you seen it before?
Part of, I think, the documents preparation for today's meeting.
Did you yourself write this letter to Mr. Epstein?
Sadly, I did.
Did Miss Maxwell approach you to write this letter for Mr. Epstein's birthday?
I think the request was to write a card or a note or something for a birthday book.
And did that come from Miss Maxwell?
I don't remember.
Mr. Wexner, would you please read the main body of the birthday note for the record, please?
I wanted to get you what you want. So here it is. Happy birthday, your friend Leslie.
And what was your understanding of what Mr. Epstein would want?
He was a bachelor, so I drew him a pair of boots.
You've
As a kind of a joke and offhandedly, I'd say.
understand.
I hope you do.
You said a few times throughout this deposition today that you did not consider Mr. Epstein a friend of yours. However, you signed this letter, and I quote, "Your friend Leslie." Why would you sign "your friend Leslie" to someone you did not consider to be a friend of yours?
I don't know. I normally say Les, not Leslie, either when I write notes, and I guess I could. I can't explain why I would say your friend because we weren't friends.
Did you ever speak to Miss Maxwell directly about this particular letter?
No,
Did you ever speak to Mr. Epstein directly about this particular letter?
no,
Was this letter something that you would commonly send, like a better term, business associates?
no, of course not. I was trying to be funny.
That's not funny.
Going to mark as Majority Exhibit 7, a photo. Give you a second to review.
Give them one.
Are you in this photo?
Yes,
And Mr. Epstein is also in this photo?
yes,
And a third individual is redacted in this photo?
yes.
Do you have any way of knowing who the redacted individual in this photo is?
I know who the redacted person is in this photo.
Who is that redacted person?
My wife.
Understood. Do you recall?
The man in the back is Peter Larson, and the picture was taken in Bremen when the vote was launched. We got a bunch of pictures of the vote launching.
Do you recall what year that was?
We had 2 children. Probably 3 or 4 years after we were married.
And did you invite Mr. Epstein to this vote launch party or event?
That's I recall.
Can you recall who would have invited Mr. Epstein to this event?
No,
It is 2:08, and the majority will end this hour now and go off the record.
All right, so that's just another hour and some
We
change
can
on
go
this. Hold on.
back on the
I
record.
want it. Stop. Okay. The Les Wexner interview, deposition, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good afternoon. See y'all. Bye.